You're listening to the Money and Meaning podcast, where we chronicle the search for meaning over money. I'm your host, Kanae Porter, National Certified Counselor and the world's #1 financial hypnotherapist. This podcast is the mission-driven CEO's guide to wealth without burnout, guilt, or greed. So let's get into today's show. And we are back. Seriously, we are. Hey there, my Prosperos. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of the Money and Meaning podcast. Oh my gosh, I have so much to share with you. And man, so you remember last time we were, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe even a month now, when I told you that I had to wait for a boost of inspiration and some clarity. More importantly is the clarity. Well, as soon as I got done recording that episode, I got so much clarity. So I want to tell you where the podcast is going over the next really 50 episodes. I'm not going to give you all 50 episodes, but I just want to tell you what direction we're taking. And then I want to kind of give you a little lesson in manifestation, if you will. So let me start by saying our job here on this podcast is going to be to teach you manifestation principles, how to manifest anything you want in your life, how to create. If you want to change that word manifest to something that you can digest more, go ahead. If you want to say create, if you want to say build, if you want to say make, I don't know, whatever you say, whatever word you usually use, I'm just going to tell you how to make it easier. What I want you to consider is that hard work is not going to get you where you want to be. Now, it might have gotten you here, right? I know some of you listening are quite successful. And you're like, well, hard work got me here. And I'm saying, great. And now let's shift. You might be wanting to shift to heart work. You might be wanting to shift to smart work, consistent work. You might even be ready to shift to effort. Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how wealthy somebody who you just need to put about the right amount of effort. And I mean that in every area of your life. Because let's face it, if you are putting all of your energy towards building wealth, what is happening with your love life? What is happening with your adventure and fun and excitement? What is happening with the legacy you want to leave? Sometimes that gets ignored because you're just focusing on the money. And let us not forget your health. If you're just focusing, pounding the dollars in, then you're probably leaving. While you're leaning into the money, what are you leaning away from? So I want you to begin to think about that if you haven't already. This is a great place to start. So if this is your first podcast, if you are new here to the Money and Meaning podcast, welcome. I would say there were a few episodes that you missed that I'm going to put in the show notes that I think are important for you to listen to. But I would also say, don't worry. I am going to cover so much in the next 50 episodes. We're going to be together for a little while. Now we are going to go on hiatus again, but it won't be for a while. But I want you to know that we have some great stuff planned for you. So as I mentioned, as you already know, I should say, we are chronicling the search for meaning over money. And there's a specific or a particular type of person that we're chronicling. We are chronicling that mission-driven CEO, the one who actually has already built a successful company, but he just wants more. Is that you? Is that okay to say? Like, I want more. What's so bad about wanting more? Now, I'm not saying that you always will want more, but you at least want more right now, right? Exactly. I'm with you. So let's make sure you're getting the most out of your business and your life. And this podcast is an alternative to the traditional. So you know me, if you've been here a little while, you know that I am a little mystical, a little metaphysical. I am a hypnotherapist, and much of what I do is outside of the norm. It's alternative. However, I am a trained counselor. Like I am a therapist. So I kind of drop that into our technique, mixes a couple of things together: hypnotherapy, financial therapy, and existential therapy. And the three of those mixed together make up our breakthrough to clarity framework. Now, I set out on a mission to alleviate human suffering associated with money. And when I say that, sometimes people think I mean like feed the hungry, help people unemployed get jobs, that kind of thing. Well, that's not actually what I mean. I mean, you know how money is the number one cause of stress, whether you have it or not. Well, those people who have it are under a great deal of stress. You know that saying, more money, more problems? I don't believe it's true, but many people do. I love when I rhyme. Anyway, many people believe that. I say, more money, different problems, sure. And I don't even really call them problems, they're challenges. So, what challenges are you experiencing, Mr. President, my leader out there, my mission driven CEO? What challenges are you experiencing? I have some idea. And you know why? Because I work with so many mission driven CEOs. And I know that you've spent so much time pretending and faking for others, so much that you really don't remember how far you've even come. And you've come far, but you can't see your progress because you don't really know yourself because you've been faking it. But let me tell you, you cannot fake meaning. You can't fake a meaningful life. And even if you fool all the other people, you can't fool yourself. Your subconscious brain still knows who you are. Sometimes your subconscious brain is stuck, though. It's stuck in the old you. Not this new, not this old you, but the old you. You know that old you? The one who maybe got teased, maybe the one who was overweight or too skinny or didn't feel smart enough, or all of those things that you remember or think about yourself or were told, which none of them are really true. You can be skinny, you can be fat and rich, you can be smart and rich, you can be not that smart and rich, you can be pretty, not that pretty and rich and wealthy, and all these things, right? You can get love and not be perfect. Oh my gosh, yes, it is true. You can get love and not be perfect. You can have perfect health and not do every single thing right. You can have perfect health and not be keto or paleo or vegan or any of those diets out there. You can choose what's right for your body. And through this podcast, I'm going to break down the steps. So really, I'm giving you on this podcast everything you need to manifest the business and life of your dreams. I'm giving you every tool for free. Now, what you won't get for free is hypnotherapy. Now, why am I doing that? Because much of what I learned, wish I didn't pay for, is I feel sometimes like it was a waste of time. Like I could have gotten there faster if I didn't take some of those yucky courses. I got distracted by some of those. And so I don't even want you to take another course because I am giving this away for free. I'm going to teach you how to manifest. I will teach you how to heal yourself. Yes, my leader, you have to be healed. I'm going to teach you all of that. I'm going to give you every tool you need. I'm going to give you everything I have for free over the next 50 episodes. That's how long you will get me for free. 50 episodes. Now, what I do after that, I don't know. But if you know me, you know that's a long ass commitment. I don't commit that long, but that is how long I'm committing to you for one whole year, starting today. You and I will get together every single week and I'll share what I know. And if you have questions, you can email us at podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. Now, you're not going to get hypnotherapy for free. If you want to go past this, you will then join. If you say, I want more, join. Whether it's virtual hypnotherapy, group hypnotherapy, or one-on-one, at that point, you will join us. You'll become a member of Presidential Lifestyle. You will then be literally a Prospero. You will then actually be a Prosperity Pro. Now, listening, this is like an unofficial Prosperity Pro title we give you. But when you come into our club, our membership, then you officially become a Prosperity Pro. So we have 3 levels: the masterclass level, the mastermind level, and the mastery level. And depending on where you come in, virtual group or one-on-one, or retreat, I should say, the private retreat, on the mastery level, that's the level of access you have. But here on the podcast, you can listen all the way for 50 episodes, get everything we have for free. That is my promise. That is how I serve my mission, to alleviate human suffering associated with money. Now, some of you are going to want to go further, and we welcome you. Because, my leader, I know that you need an alternative. I know that some of the things out there are just not for you. You do not need another course. You do not need another coach. You might not even need a therapist. Because let's face it, and I just have to call my industry out, therapy doesn't always work because the therapists themselves aren't doing their work. So, my brothers and sisters of therapy, if you're listening to this, you should be listening to every episode so you can heal thyself. Heal. We all need healing. Everything I'm pouring into you is something I received. Now, a lot of this I did pay for, but I feel like a lot of this these days, you can kind of piecemeal it together and find it, but I don't want you to do that. The reason why I'm giving this away for free is because I do not want you to get it wrong, right? I don't want you to waste your time talking to snake oil salesmen is what I keep calling them, but I don't want you to talk to those people. I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to waste your money. I don't want you to waste your energy, and I don't want you to waste your faith. Because the more you put your faith in things that aren't right for you, the more likely you are to just stop and keep the status quo or stay where you are, right? And is $1 million enough for you? Probably not. 10 million, is that enough for you? What's your number? 100 million? A billion? 10 billion? Whatever your number is fine. No judgment. Even if you said it was 100,000, I'm cool with that. But just know your number. That's something we work on in our mastermind. We help you get to that number so you're clear. We help you visualize your prosperous life. That's something we're going to do here. Well, some of that. We'll do some of that. But it's a hypnotherapy session that you can get. It's not very expensive, actually. It's something that you can get. We call it our Path to Prosperity pop-up hypnotherapy. And I actually used to do it free. So you kind of missed that if you didn't already. And it's really good. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about here today is in the Path to Prosperity. So over the next 3 episodes, I'm going to just drill a bunch of information in you. And this information is going to help you get on the path to prosperity. And then after that, I'm going to help you stay on the path to prosperity. And I'm going to do that by helping you first pour in all the good stuff you need. And then as we're pouring in the good stuff, we're going to be eliminating the stuff that no longer serves you. So have you ever had a glass of water that wasn't clean? Like maybe there was, soda in it or wine even. And then you ran the water in the glass. And as the new water was coming in, the old water was kind of running out. And the longer you let the new water in, the more the old water would run over and out. And as the old water runs over and out, eventually, if you let it run long enough, the glass is almost kind of clean. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to pour into you so that anything that's no longer serving you is sort of pouring out, oozing out. And then if you decide you want to really clear those things with hypnotherapy from your subconscious brain, because you can get the old out. You can do it by time and repetition or a catastrophic event. you know, like something good or bad, but just definitely a life-changing event. I guess I should say a life-changing event. I'm sorry. A life-changing event, good or bad, something life-changing happens, bam, and then you immediately change. Or time and repetition, like how you learned your ABCs. We say it over and over and over again, or we do this over and over, or you listen to all 50 episodes and you listen to them over and over and over again. And then you get it. It's instilled in you and you know who you are. And then from there, what happens next is if you decide time and repetition is too much and too long for you and you want the fast track, then that's when you will jump into one of our hypnotherapy options. I think my leaders, my CEOs who are kind of just starting out and maybe you haven't had as much success as you would have liked, you usually start with virtual, dip your toe in and then do more. That's our path to prosperity, pop-up hypnotherapy. Now, the reason why we call it pop-up hypnotherapy is because even though you're going to get this virtual hypnotherapy, you're also going to get to come to a live event. But only people, this is what I was talking about earlier. I used to do this for free, but only people who have purchased the Path to Prosperity Masterclass will get to experience the group hypnotherapy. Now, you want to know a little secret about me. Don't like to do the same thing at the same time. I've never been one of those like, oh, 8 to 5. Like my schedule is different almost every day, except Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I typically work 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those things kind of stick. Now, sometimes I get off early and I don't work that late. Monday, I work whenever I want to. I don't have a schedule on Monday. And Friday, I don't usually work. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm working to stick to that. I got a little away from that over the last couple of months, but I'm getting back to it. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I am off. Monday, I just work whenever I want to. Now, I do have hours blocked off. This is just a little bit about me. I'm just kind of sidetracked, but I'll get back on, I promise. So 8 to 6, but different things happen on those days. So it's not like I'm doing the same thing every day. That I'm not, that's not me really. I don't really like to do things that way. So that's why we call it pop-up hypnotherapy, because it might be, a lot of times it's probably going to be on Thursday evening, Pacific Standard Time. Now, for some of you listening and you're not in the US, that might be your Friday. It might be your Friday morning because it'll be like 4 p.m. maybe at the end of my Thursday. So you'll get to hang out with me. I'll do hypnotherapy and I usually coach people at the end. Now I say coach because that's the only word I can use to describe it. But if you come on, you ask questions, I kind of walk you through some answers together. We have a breakthrough. And 9 out of 10, if 10 people get coached that day, 9 people have a breakthrough. And the 10th person usually emails me a day or two later and like, oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. And I got so much out of that, blah, 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 blah. It's just so awesome. So I'll teach for about 30 minutes. I'll do hypnotherapy for about 30 minutes, and then I'll end up coaching for about 30 minutes. So we spend about 90 minutes together. Sometimes it goes longer. The last time I did it, it was like 2.5 hours. But I so enjoyed it, and so did everybody else. So, but the Path to Prosperity, you get a virtual version of that first. And then you get to visit one of our Path to Prosperity lives. So and I have 2 more things that I want to tell you and a little bit of tools that I want to give you. So what I am learning about my mission-driven CEO is that you're working so hard to get to the next level and catch the guy in front of you that you can't even enjoy the level of success you have right now. Because what you have right now is success, whether you know it or not. You're much further than you were before. And sure, you're not where you want to be just yet, but you're so close. But that's why I want to teach you this manifestation techniques. These manifestation techniques, the breakthrough is for real. You really do have a serious breakthrough. But more than that, it's like there's a relaxed part of you. There's a part of you that just sort of relaxes. And not that you don't let off the gas though. That's what I want you to see. Working hard is you putting your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. That's hard work. I'm saying you're actually going to finally lift your foot off the brake and things will become more flow. Life with ease. Not an easy life, but life with ease. Different. And the reason why I make these differentiations is because a lot of times people just don't believe it. Oh, that's too good to be true. Life can't be easy. Life is hard. I heard enough songs about it. Just work hard for the money. Life's a bitch and then you die. It's like, is it though? It's not. I mean, it can be, but is that a fact? It's more like a truth. Sure, it's true. All these bad things can happen to you. It's true. You could get stuck at 1 million and never do. You can get stuck at 250. You can get stuck wherever and even at 10 million and can't get over. I've worked with people who did get stuck at 10 million. I worked with people who've been stuck at 5 million and feel like they can't get to the double digit millions, right? The multi millions. And I've also been stuck, or I've worked with people who've been stuck at 100 million. Well, what does it have to do with anything, right? If you get stuck, doesn't mean you have to stay stuck. Almost like you ever had a sink that was clogged? You couldn't figure it out. You're sticking stuff down there, trying to push it out. You plunge, you try everything, but you can't get it unstuck. Then you get a guide or a plumber. I call them a guide. And they just have the right tools. And with those right tools, they get the clog unstuck, the sink unstuck. And now the water just flows. You ever turn that water on after it's been clogged and just watch it flow? It's like, oh, so relieving. Yes, that feeling is what you can feel in life when your blocks are cleared. Now, some of you won't believe me and you'll just listen to this podcast for 50 episodes. And then finally you'll say, okay, I'm going to do what you told me to do. Or you'll get 20 in and you're like, oh, some of this is working. I want more. And then you'll want to come into the membership. But before you do that, let me just share something with you. You spent so much time building your wealth and your business, and you're doing it for your family. I know the people you love, but do they even appreciate it? Do they understand the sacrifices you have made? No, they don't usually. But there is a way that you can love your family without spending all your time at work. Because I know somewhere you were taught that in order to show your love, you had to go to work and make money and support them. Somewhere you were taught that if you weren't the last person at the office, you really didn't do a good job, especially if you're the owner, right? Well, some of you, I know, listening, you feel guilt when you're not at work. But then you also feel guilt when you are at work. Oh man, such a catch, right? And then some of you feel greedy. You're like, why do I stay here? Why is it all about the money? But then it's like, but wait, I do want more. I want the most, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's so confusing. Well, society set it up that way. It's not your fault. But just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility to do something about it. So I'm asking you from now on, starting today, you and I can journey together over the next 50 episodes. And, you're going to hear some promos. I'm going to offer you a few things. And if you think you want to take it to the next level, let's go there. Right? Because my mission in life, I already told you, is to alleviate stress, alleviate suffering, especially associated with money. And so, my leader, it's time for you to heal. It really is time for you to heal, to become clear, and begin to manifest. Like manifest the life you truly want, the business that you truly want. Then as you do that, you can either share me and your tools with your family and even your team. Because you are not alone. I am here with you. My team is here with you. So just think about it. What we're doing right now, we are reaching 100 CEOs. That's our first milestone in our mission, is to reach 100 CEOs. Heal the leader and then allow the leader to take what he learns to his family and his team. Now, some of you listening are women, and you're like, well, why does she keep saying he? Well, that's because that's who we work with most often. Just because that's who we work with most often doesn't mean that's who we always work with. So if you are an ambitious, hardworking woman who's ready to do hard work and ready to let go of the hard work, I'd say you reach out too. We may have a solution for you. But our target market, the people who we work with the most, are the mission driven CEOs that are male. So you will hear me use that language. You will hear me say he a lot, not to exclude anybody, but that's just who we work with. So I'm speaking directly to him because I want him to know that I know him. And you've already can tell so far, right? Because everything I've said has been like, oh my God, is she in my living room? Is she in my office? How does she know these things about me? Wait, is she in my head? No, I am in your soul. I know that was dramatic, right? But I really am. And if you come to one of the pop-up hypnotherapy sessions, you will see me get all into somebody's soul because that's what I do. So I want to give you a couple things. First, I want to tell you what we are working on. Okay, so first I want to tell you what we have going on for the next couple episodes. Not all of them, just a few. So I do a talk called Act As If, and it's how to make it without ever having to fake it. And that's part of the Path to Prosperity Masterclass. I'm going to talk about that next episode. However, I still think it's worth getting the masterclass. Then after that, I'm going to talk about the search for meaning over money and the steps that it takes. There are 5 things you need to know in order to build wealth without burnout, guilt, or greed. And of course, there are more than 5, but these 5 are the ones you absolutely have to know. When I say there are 5 things you need to know, I mean, there are 5 things you need to know about yourself. I guess I should make that distinction. Yes, there are 5 things you need to know about yourself. And then throughout the rest of this podcast, I'll be teaching you and showing you and giving you tools and resources and exercises and all kinds of things, but not hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy, you got to join the club. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about those 2 things. I'm going to break down the Breakthrough to Clarity assessment and what you can get out of it and what you learn from it. And then from there, I want to tell you a little bit more about setting targets. You know, some people call them goals. We call them targets. And then I think it's important that I explain each one of the hypnotherapy sessions that you're going to get in the Breakthrough to Clarity framework. So I'm going to break all of those down. There are 10 in there. Well, there are actually about 12, but 10, and then I give you 2 bonuses. I think it's important that I explain the control the controllable to you a little bit more too, and then go from there. And I promise you that there are about 30 prosperity principles that I'm going to share with you. So this is going to be a full season. We really started season 5 right now. And I know we only went halfway through the year before we shifted that, but I have to be obedient. And I follow my instincts, but it's really not just my instincts. It is my guidance. I have a guide. I put out in the world what I want, and then I just follow the guidance. And when I'm not feeling, remember I said I was going to give you some tools? Here they are. So when I am feeling what I call that icky feeling, which some people call anxiety, like when you feel the anxiety, let me tell you what that is. It's you getting pulled in a different direction than the direction you should be going in. So that feeling you get when you're doing something that you know you're not supposed to be doing, then you get an icky feeling. That icky feeling, listen to it. Or sometimes, you may not get the icky feeling. You might get what I call a pebble, a little just like that on the window or on your head. And it gets your attention and you go, And it gets you to stop for just a second, but it was just a pebble, so maybe you ignored it. And then you'll get the rock right on top of your head, right? Right out the window. Crack. Maybe I should be going a different way. Well, no, I better not. Let me just keep going where I'm going. It's familiar. Oh, why didn't you listen? Here comes the boulder. Roll right over you. Ouch. It hurts, right? But clearly not enough because you're still going in the wrong direction until a whole wall falls on top of you and now you can't even move and you're stuck. Don't wait for the wall. Just listen when the pebble comes. And so that feeling that you get, that little icky feeling, that's the feeling before the pebble even comes. I listen then. I just feel that feeling and I say, and then I stop. Okay, so you feel the feeling, right? Come with me, go with me. You feel the feeling and then stop. You're like, oh, I feel that feeling. What's happening? Okay, so now you stop and then you just say, lead me, lead me, lead me, lead me. And just say it as many times as you like. I don't care how many times. Say it as many times as you like. And once you get clear on it, once you finally feel the feeling stop, lead me, lead me, lead me. Then just be quiet and listen. The very first thing that pops in your head is going to be the next thing you should do about the thing that you're confused on. And then the little voices are going to start. Well, wait, how do I do that? And who's going to do that? And, and who? And they already did that before. You can't do that. All of that stuff. Shh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Just quiet them down. You know how to do that when somebody's talking. Yes, that's what you do to those little voices. And you're like, not right now, not right now, not right now. So whatever that first start that was, go that way. So give you a little example. It ain't about money, so just listen. You want to get something done, right? You're working on a project. You still have about 2 hours of work left. You look at your clock. It's 6:00. You told your wife you'd be home at 6:30. Now she knows you. She knows that's probably not true. But she might be giving you to about 7. And then that's when her energy shifts. Now I guarantee you, if you get home at 6, she's going to be so proud of you. Now, it'll take you 1 or 2 times to do that before she really shows you that she's proud of you. But she will notice. Trust me, women notice everything. You get home at 6:30, like you said, no biggie. You did what you said you're going to do. You're a man of integrity. Nobody gets a praise for being a man of integrity. You get home at 7, you get a pass. But if you get home at 8, 9, you didn't roll in and then you just roll into bed, eat something or whatever, or eat before you even get there and she cooked, you're in trouble. Why? It's not worth it. You got 2 more hours of work left. It's 6. If you keep going, even if you just keep going a little bit to get a little bit more done, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Probably not. So you might as well stop now because you're not going to get those 2 hours of work done. If it's 6 and you can just make it on time. So let's run through this scenario. It's 6:00. You look at your clock. You see that it's 6:00. Or your watch, your gorgeous watch. And you see it and you're like, huh. And in your head, you're like, I should probably go. And then you say, no, let me finish. And as soon as you say that, you feel that feeling like, probably should go. And you don't do it. And so when you feel that feeling, I want you to say, lead me. Lead me. Now you're talking to your spirit. You're talking to your gut, your higher power. And by doing that, you're shutting down the subconscious brain. The subconscious brain is the one who says work. Work is safe, work is safe, work is familiar, work is safe, work is safe. So stop listening to that one and listen to your inner guidance, your source. And you just say, lead me, lead me, lead me. And then when you get calm And if you take the Breakthrough to Clarity framework, the Calm Optimal Brain, and I'm going to explain why that works and how it works in a couple episodes, but you'll take that. And if you've already taken that, you're going to pull up your symbol. You pull up your symbol. That's going to bring you to Calm Optimal. And then you just wait. You wait for the message. And it'll say, leave now. Put your stuff away and leave now. And then right after it says that, it'll be like, you'll see a business card or an email or, a text message. You're like, oh, let me just respond to this. And then responding to that will mean responding to this other thing. And then that means doing this other thing. And now it's already 6:50. Oh, 6:50. How did it get 6:50? It was just 6 o'clock. I know, time flies. So that's a little example, but I think you know what I mean. So listen to that voice, ask for guidance and follow it. And thank you for listening all the way to the end. That's just a little tip, but you're in store for so many tips. I would say you might as well get a Money and Meaning notebook, because it's going to be so much for you to I'm just pouring into you. So you ready? Good. I'm glad we're here. And that's all for now. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the newsletter is now, if you're part of if you're subscribed to us, then the newsletter will be video. I'll come on, I'll just talk for 5 minutes and kind of explain the episode, give you a little bit more that's not in the episode. And then that's also going to go on the show notes page. So the newsletter, the show notes page, all of that. There is so much new and exciting and just growth, so much growth. That's what I like to say, going on here at Presidential Lifestyle. So I'm glad you're a part of it. And I look forward to seeing you. Oh my. I look forward to seeing you next week. How does that sound? Does that sound good or good? I love you, my Prosperity Pro. See you next week. And remember, if you know a mission-driven CEO who wants to turn their money into meaning, who wants to have wealth without burnout, guilt, or greed, who is in search of meaning over money, then send them this podcast. Share it. Thank you. Thanks for listening all the way to the end, my Prosperity Pro. I want to stay connected with you. Here are 4 ways. Pick the one that works best for you if you want to stay connected with me. 1, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Send them to podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. I'd love it if you would make a 1 or 2 minute audio message and attach it to an email. That'd be the easiest way for me to get it. Ask me anything about creating a life of meaning over money, and I'll get you an answer. Remember, the email address is podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. 2, subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends, because you guys might want to have a discussion about it, especially if they're a CEO who wants to shift from the old American dream to a life of meaning. 3, we try not to have any sponsors on this show unless they are truly in line with our values. I mean, really a good fit. So that means we fund this podcast ourselves. I'd like you to take a look at our resource page to see if there's any products or services that we recommend that are right for you. If not, no worries, maybe later. If so, please use our affiliate link to purchase. Thank you in advance for doing that. You are such an amazing person. Okay, 4 and last. If you want to know what's happening over here at Presidential Lifestyle and you want us to email you the update, then go to presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. And you'll see the current updated blog for the week, but you'll also see a link to subscribe to that blog. We can email it to you if you like. That's presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that link or any links. They're all in the show notes. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're enjoying this podcast, go ahead and leave us a review and tell us how much you're enjoying it. And now for the legalese. This podcast is not to replace professional counsel. The best advice is from a professional who knows you and your specific situation. The topics discussed in this podcast are general in nature and for informational or entertainment purposes only. We encourage you to meet with a professional that you can discuss your specific situation with. Whether you choose us or someone else, one-on-one counsel is important, whether it's a financial, therapeutic, legal, or other decision. So that's all for now. I'll see you next episode. And remember, you can have wealth in all of its forms. Believe it, and you'll soon see it.